The Parking War of Willow Creek. It was a warm September afternoon in Willow Creek, a quiet suburb in Ohio, when I rolled my Chevy Silverado into the driveway of my new 5-acre property. I'd spent 20 years wrenching under hoods, saving every dime to buy this slice of Freedoma rundown farmhouse, a weathered barn, and no HOA breathing down my neck. Or so I thought. Before I could even crack open a cold lemonade, I saw her in my side mirror, Linda Harper, striding toward me in neon green leggings, her phone already recording. She called 911 because I parked on my land. What followed was a 6-month war that tore our neighborhood apart, exposed a tyrant, and ended with a court ruling that banned her from every parking spot in town. This is the story of how a truck, a tape measure, and a community took down a suburban dictator. My name's Tom Bennett. I'm a mechanic, 52, with grease-stained hands and a knack for fixing what's broken. That first day, I stepped out of my truck, expecting a neighborly wave. Instead, Linda, self-appointed guardian of Willow Creek, declared my Silverado an environmental disaster. She waved a tape measure like a scepter, claiming my truck was 19 feet from the road, 6 feet too close. I blinked, confused. My property was zoned agricultural, and my truck was 47 feet from the curb. Facts didn't matter to Linda. She was live streaming to her 1.5 million followers, calling me a menace to public safety. The cops arrived, sighed, and confirmed I was legal. But Linda didn't stop. She tripped over a crack in my driveway, her phone flying, capturing her sprawl for the world to see. The comment section lit up with Team Tom. I should have known then. This was just Act 1. Linda wasn't just a nosy neighbor. She was a one-woman surveillance state. At 4:37 a.m., my new security cameras caught her on my land with a stepladder, measuring my truck's clearance angles. She muttered about violations and snapped photos, her binder labeled Truckman Evidence. It was creepy, but I laughed it off until Ellen Carter, a retired attorney and neighbor, showed up with a folder thicker than a phone book. Inside were emails, photos, and screenshots proving Linda had been blackmailing our HOA president, Harold Vance, since 2017. She'd caught him in a compromising motel moment and used it to puppeteer the HOA. Fake fines, forged signatures, invented Raleigh turned Willow Creek into her fiefdom. My truck wasn't the problem. I was the first to park without her permission. The escalation was relentless. Linda called 911 again, claiming my toolbox was a bomb. Officer Daniels, bleary-eyed, opened my truck to find wrenches and a half-eaten protein bar. "This is a mechanic's truck, ma'am," he said. Linda gasped, accusing him of corruption. Then she posted a 15-photo expose on the neighborhood app, editing my truck to look like it was leaking oil and hauling toxic waste. One doctored image swapped my head onto a thug with a tire iron. The post went viral, and my biggest client, a classic car shop, dropped me. "Too much heat," they said. 10 grand a year, gone. That night, staring at my truck, the same one I'd slept in when my old place flooded, I felt her lies winning. Hope came from an unexpected source, Rachel Klein, a journalist who'd seen Linda's playbook before. She showed me cases from Nevada, Georgia, and Missouri, men targeted for illegal parking, smeared with false reports, their livelihoods gutted. Linda wasn't just intense, she was a predator. Rachel's evidence gave me a spark, but the real fire came when I checked my cameras. At 3:15 a.m., Linda, in rubber gloves and red leggings, painted "No Parking HOA" across my fence in dripping red letters. She wasn't done. She practiced forging Harold's signature on fake HOA letterhead, tossing crumpled drafts into my yard. August carried one perfect forgery to my camera. Then, in a moment of cosmic justice, she slipped in her paint, flailing like a B-movie villain. I uploaded the footage, unedited. By noon, it had 200,000 shares, dubbed Karen vs. Gravity, with circus music added. The neighborhood was waking up. Mike Torres, a quiet retiree with a drone hobby, launched a GoFundMe for a billboard at Willow Creek's entrance. In 8 hours, we raised enough for a 30-foot sign. Linda, mid-fall, covered in paint, captioned, "This Karen called 911 over a wrench." But the billboard wasn't the knockout. Zooming into the footage, I spotted a paper on her clipboard, a parking enforcement charter dated 1983. Our HOA was formed in 1995. Linda wasn't just lying, she was forging history. Her final act was deranged. At 2 a.m., she scattered flour-filled baggies around my truck and called 911 from a burner phone, whispering about a meth lab. The cops came with a warrant, cuffing me as they searched my barn. I sat in a holding cell, stunned. All I'd done was park. Rachel and Ellen worked fast. Rachel got dispatched tapes of Linda rehearsing her calls, coaching herself to sound scared. Ellen found a bumper cam reflection. Linda, gloved, pouring flour, staring at her baggies like a director staging a scene. The DA dropped the case by noon, and the officers apologized. "We thought this was about zoning," one said. The HOA meeting was electric. I plugged my laptop into the projector, showing Linda's paint job, her forged fines, and that fake 1983 charter. Harold stood, trembling. "She blackmailed me," he admitted. "Motel photos, rumors she had dirt on everyone." Ellen stepped forward. "We traced her forgeries across 3 states. Same fake titles, same red flags." Then Linda snapped. The judge's ruling was surgical. Linda Harper was banned from all parking zones in Willow Creek driveways, lots, curbs for 10 years. "You weaponized parking to ruin lives," the judge said. "Now you stay away from it." Her house was seized to repay her victims. Ellen ensured every fine resident got their money back. Where Linda's home once stood, we built Harmony Park, a playground, a barbecue pit, and a gloriously unzoned gravel lot. A plaque read, "For everyone who just wanted to park in peace." I welded a tiny wrench into the corner. The neighborhood celebrated. Kids played, old-timers danced, and I parked my truck front and center, slightly crooked, raising a glass to freedom. But a week later, an envelope arrived at the HOA office. No return address, just a photo of Linda at a private airstrip, grinning beside a jet. Her badge read, "Karen Marshall, Aviation Consultant." On the back, in Sharpie, "Parking rules don't apply to jets. See you soon. P.S. Your truck's 3 inches off center." Rachel called days later with a clip from a Montana town. Anonymous flyers about parking chaos, signed by a K. Marshall, parking specialist. Linda wasn't Ganesh, just changed her mask. I still live in Willow Creek. Same ranch, same truck, parked in the exact spot Linda tried to erase. Every morning, I walk past that driveway and smile. Not because I won, but because I didn't move. My stand free to community. Linda used fake rules and fear, but we fought back with cameras, neighbors, and the truth. She had the tape measure. We had the receipts. This wasn't just about parking. It was about power unchecked, silence enabling, and good people saying, "Enough." If you've ever felt bullied by a rulebook or a title, know your voice matters. Your space, your PC, it's worth defending. Share your thoughts below. Have you faced a Linda? How far is too far when power turns to violence or injustice? Take a stand. Tell us your view. Your story might spark the next fight for what's right.